'cause he's the acceptable monster at this time. R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. JayZ is setting Diddy up. People even calling me, asking me about him. And I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know what I know, I don't know what he knows, but I do know this. Let's break this down. Something wild just went down. Picture this, JayZ. The symbol of control and confidence suddenly lost his composure, and not in private. This happened right in front. In the world of hip-hop, rivalries are as common as a rainy day in spring. Fans love the drama, and artists often use their words through songs or interviews to take jabs at one another. It's part of the culture, a way to keep things lively and competitive. Over the years, we've seen plenty of these back and forths, but one that's got folks talking right now is the simmering feud between JayZ and 50 Cent, two men who've climbed to the top of the music game in very different ways. Now, if you don't know much about these two, let me paint you a picture. JayZ, born Sean Carter, is a man who's built an empire. He started as a rapper from Brooklyn, New York, and turned his talent into a business juggernaut. He's not just a musician. He's a record label owner, a sports agent, and a philanthropist. And of course, he's married to Beyoncé, one of the biggest stars in the world. Together, they're a power couple racking up awards and admiration. JayZ's got a polished image, the kind of man who seems to always know the right move to make. Then there's 50 Cent, whose real name is Curtis Jackson. He came up from a rough neighborhood in Queens, New York, and his story is one of grit and determination. He survived a tough life, even getting shot multiple times before making it big. His music is raw, full of street tales and defiance. But he's not just a rapper either. He's acted in movies, produced TV shows, and built his own brand of success. Where JayZ is calculated and smooth, 50 Cent is bold and unapologetic, never afraid to speak his mind. These two have known each other for years, and there's always been a bit of a competitive edge between them. It's like watching two old friends who can't help but one-up each other at a family reunion. But lately things have gotten a bit more heated. Fans and folks in the media are watching closely, wondering if this quiet tension might turn into a full-blown clash. The latest spark came from 50 Cent during a recent interview. He didn't hold back questioning how JayZ rose to such heights. He suggested that a big part of JayZ's success came from his marriage to Beyoncé, implying that their partnership boosted his fame and brought in all those shiny awards. He even made a light-hearted jab about their kids getting recognition without ever releasing a song. Now, you and I know that kind of talk can sting, especially when it's about someone's family. It wasn't just a casual comment. It felt like 50 Cent was challenging the very foundation of JayZ's legacy. Some folks brushed it off as 50 Cent, just being his usual outspoken self. He's known for stirring the pot, after all. But others sensed something deeper, a real undercurrent of frustration. Despite JayZ's incredible achievements, both in music and as a businessman, 50 Cent seems to find ways to poke at him, almost like he's trying to knock him off that high pedestal. There's a story 50 Cent often brings up from years back. A moment at an awards show where he felt JayZ threw a subtle insult his way backstage. Now, whether that's the whole truth or just how 50 Cent remembers it, we can't say for sure. But it's clear that moment stuck with him. Some of his fans wonder if these constant jabs come from a place of hurt pride, or if there's a bigger professional rivalry at play that's never been fully settled. Let's take a step back and look at their journeys, because that's where this story really comes alive. JayZ built his success through careful steps and smart alliances. He's the kind of man who knows how to play the game, forging partnerships that elevate his name. Think of him as a chess player, always thinking 3 moves ahead. His fallout with a former business partner, Dame Dash, years ago, shook the hip-hop world. People still talk about it, questioning whether JayZ put ambition over loyalty. No one denies his talent or drive, but some wonder at what cost that success came. On the flip side, 50 Cent's path was more like a bulldozer, clearing its way through obstacles. He came up through sheer willpower, speaking his truth, no matter who it upset. He's challenged the music industry itself, refusing to bow to its rules. For him, success seems to be about staying true to where he came from, not about making friends in high places. This clash of styles, JayZ's calculated rise versus 50 Cent's raw defiance, raises a big question. What does success really mean in this world of hip-hop? Is it about talent and hard work alone? Or is it about who you know and how you position yourself? It's a question that's bigger than just these two men. It's about the values of an entire culture. Now, JayZ's not without his critics beyond 50 Cent. Some folks have raised eyebrows at partnerships he's made over the years, like working with controversial figures. They wonder if he's chosen profit over principles at times. But his supporters argue that's just the nature of the business. They see him as a visionary, someone who's navigated a cutthroat industry with smarts and strategy, not opportunism. Meanwhile, 50 Cent keeps the pressure on. He doesn't just question JayZ's career moves. Sometimes he goes after his character, hinting that JayZ turned his back on old friends or rode coattails to fame. Whether you see this as honest critique or just calculated provocation, it's clear 50 Cent isn't letting up. Some think he's tapping into a real frustration with how the music world rewards certain people, while overlooking others. Maybe he's trying to carve out his own space, making sure his contributions aren't forgotten. As this tension simmers, fans like us are left wondering where it's all headed. Both men have achieved so much, JayZ as a global icon and 50 Cent as a force in entertainment. Yet their conflict feels far from over. It's not just a disagreement over music. It's about respect, recognition, and what they each want their legacy to be. I can't help but think of it like a chess game between two masters. Every move, every word is part of a larger strategy. Will they ever sit down and hash it out? Or is this destined to be a story of division? It's hard to say. But one thing's for sure. This rivalry has become a big part of hip-hop history. Every jab in an interview, every subtle shade thrown on social media, keeps the story alive. Beyond the drama, though, there's a deeper question for us to ponder. In an industry that's always changing, where image and branding are everything, can you stay true to yourself and still make it to the top? Or does success always come with a price, whether it's personal relationships or your own values? JayZ and 50 Cent's story makes us think about that balance, not just for them, but for anyone chasing a dream. As we watch this unfold, it's a reminder of how complex fame can be. These aren't just two rappers arguing. They're two men who fought hard for their place in the world, each in their own way. Their feud might entertain us, but it also challenges us to think about what authenticity means in a world that often rewards reinvention. So what do you think, my friends? Will these two ever see eye to eye? Or will their story remain one of unresolved tension? I'd love to hear your thoughts over that next cup of coffee. For now, let's keep an eye on these titans of hip-hop and see what chapter comes next in their saga. Well, friends, I'm so glad we're sitting down again to chat about this fascinating story of JayZ and 50 Cent. Last time we talked about the tension brewing between these two giants of hip-hop, their different paths to stardom, and the big questions their rivalry raises about success and staying true to oneself. Today, let's dig a little deeper into who these men are, what fuels their ongoing clash, and why it matters to so many folks who've followed their careers over the years. Pour yourself another cup of something warm, and let's keep this conversation going. First, let's take a closer look at where these two came from, because their beginnings tell us a lot about why they see the world so differently. JayZ, born Sean Carter in 1969, grew up in the Marcy projects of Brooklyn, New York. Life wasn't easy there. Poverty and crime were all around him. But young Sean had a knack for words, crafting rhymes that captured the struggles and dreams of his neighborhood. He didn't just want to rap. He wanted to build something bigger. In the mid-90s, when he couldn't get a record deal, he started his own label, Rockefeller Records, with friends. That grit and business savvy set him apart early on. His music, starting with albums like Reasonable Doubt in 1996, showed a man who could tell street stories with a poet's touch. Over time, he became a symbol of the American dream, turning talent into an empire that includes music, fashion, sports, and more. And let's not forget his marriage to Beyoncé in 2008, a partnership that made them a cultural powerhouse. Now contrast that with 50 Cent-born Curtis Jackson in 1975, also in New York, but in the rough-and-tumble South Jamaica neighborhood of Queens. His early life was even tougher, if you can imagine. He lost his mother at a young age and got caught up in the street life, dealing with trouble that most of us can't fathom. In 2000, he survived being shot 9 times, an event that could have ended everything, but instead became part of his legend. His music, starting with Get Rich or Die Tryin' in 2003, was raw and unfiltered, full of anger, pain, and a refusal to back down. Backed by mentors like Eminem and Dr. Dre, he exploded onto the scene, selling millions of records. But 50 Cent didn't stop at music. He branched into acting, producing shows like Power, and even business ventures like his vitamin water deal, which made him a fortune. His story is one of survival, of turning every setback into a stepping stone. You see, friends, these aren't just two rappers bumping heads. They're men who've walked through fire in their own ways, shaped by the streets of New York, but choosing very different roads out. JayZ's path was about strategy, building bridges, and crafting an image of sophistication. 50 Cent's was about defiance, breaking down walls, and staying fiercely independent. When you've lived lives like theirs, every word, every slight carries weight. That's why their rivalry feels so personal. Now let's talk about some of the moments that have kept this feud alive over the years. Beyond 50 Cent's recent comments about JayZ's success being tied to Beyoncé, there have been plenty of little sparks. Back in the early 2000s, when 50 Cent was rising fast, he released a track called How to Rob, where he jokingly rapped about robbing big names in hip-hop, including JayZ. It was meant as a playful jab, a way to get attention, but JayZ didn't let it slide. At a concert, he threw a line back, dismissing 50 Cent's bravado. That exchange set the tone, 50 Cent poking JayZ, responding with cool confidence. Over the years, 50 Cent has kept at it, whether it's questioning JayZ's relevance in rap or making offhand remarks about his business dealings. JayZ, for his part, often stays above the fray. But when he does speak, it's with a sharpness that reminds everyone he's not to be underestimated. One incident that folks still talk about happened at an awards show. I mentioned it last time. 50 Cent has shared how he felt disrespected by JayZ backstage, though the details are a bit fuzzy depending on who's telling the story. Was it a real insult? Or did 50 Cent take something the wrong way? We may never know. But what's clear is that these moments, big or small, stick with them. For 50 Cent, it seems like he's got a chip on his shoulder, feeling like he's had to fight harder for respect, while JayZ gets praised as the king of hip-hop. For JayZ, any challenge to his legacy might feel like an attack on everything he's built over decades. But let's not forget the bigger picture here. This isn't just about personal grudges. Their rivalry reflects something deeper in the hip-hop world, a debate about what makes someone a legend. Is it pure talent, The kind 50 Cent showed by rising from nothing with raw, honest music? Or is it the ability to evolve to turn talent into influence? Like JayZ has done by becoming a cultural icon, beyond just rap. I think of it like this. If hip-hop were a family, JayZ might be the older brother who went to college, got a good job, and made everyone proud with his polish. 50 Cent would be the younger sibling who took the hard road, proved himself against all odds and demands respect for his hustle. Both are loved, but they've got different ways of showing it, and sometimes they clash over who's got the family's admiration. Now, I know some of you might be wondering why this matters to us folks who might not listen to rap every day. Well, it's because their story is about more than music. It's about how we define success in life. Do we measure it by how high we climb, even if it means making tough choices like JayZ has with some of his business moves? Or do we value staying true to our roots, speaking our mind no matter the cost, like 50 Cent often does? It's a question we've all wrestled with at some point, whether in our careers, our families, or our communities. Their feud also shines a light on how the music industry works, and it's not always pretty. Both men have had to navigate a world where image can matter more than talent, where alliances can make or break you. JayZ's been criticized for some of his partnerships, like working with folks who've had legal troubles. Some say he's put money over morals. His defenders, though, argue he's just playing the game smartly, knowing you can't change the system if you're not in the room. 50 Cent, meanwhile, prides himself on calling out what he sees as hypocrisy, even if it makes enemies. But that outspokenness can alienate people too. It's a tightrope walk for both of them. How do you stay authentic when the spotlight's always on you? As we watch this tension play out through interviews, social media comments, or even subtle digs in songs, there's a sense that it's not just a passing spat. It's a battle of egos, sure, but also of philosophies. JayZ represents the idea that you can rise above your past, build bridges, and create a legacy of power and prestige. 50 Cent stands for the belief that you should never forget where you came from, that real strength is in challenging the status quo, even if it means standing alone. Who's right? Well, that's for each of us to decide. I can't help but wonder what the future holds for these two. Will there come a day when they sit down, shake hands, and put this behind them? Maybe share a laugh over how far they've both come, or will pride keep them at odds, each man determined to have the last word? It's hard to predict. Hip-hop has seen rivalries end in reconciliation before, but it's also seen them linger for years, becoming part of the culture's history. Speaking of history, this feud has already left its mark. Younger fans debate it online. Older fans like us remember the days when their music first hit the airwaves. It's a reminder of how powerful music can be, how it can reflect our struggles, our triumphs, and even our disagreements. JayZ and 50 Cent have given us soundtracks to different parts of life. JayZ with his reflective, ambitious anthems, and 50 Cent with his hard-hitting, streetwise beats. Their conflict adds another layer to that legacy, making us think about what drives people to greatness and what keeps them apart. Before we wrap up this chat, I want to leave you with one last thought. Beyond all the drama and headlines, JayZ and 50 Cent's story challenges us to look at our own lives. How do we balance ambition with integrity? How do we handle competition with those we admire or even envy? Their rivalry isn't just entertainment. It's a mirror to the choices we make every day. Maybe that's why it resonates no matter if you're a hip-hop fan or not. So my friends, what do you reckon? Can these two find common ground? Or is their story meant to be one of endless sparring? I'd love to hear